All right, what's happening, everybody? Let's try this again. Had a little glitch there, but we are back. Somebody accidentally exited out of the stream and stopped it. But I promise we're going to finish this match here. Yeah, Vishnu, that was I'm not going to say who, but it wasn't me and it wasn't Jack. Did a little accidente there. Let me get Jack back in here. Send him the new link. What's up, guys? That was not cool. Not cool, Gabe. I'm just messing. It happens. Just updating all the stuff to make sure we're good. Everything's good to go. Yeah, Barath, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It was definitely Gabe's fault. We're so used to when we're ending in the stream, and he must have just accidentally hit it. It's all good. Gabe, you listening to it? I'll forgive you. I'm sitting there in mid-sentence. I was doing the score or something like that, mid-sentence. And I'm like, why is it asking me how the stream went? Yeah, he hogged it all for himself. Absolutely. That's pretty funny. All right, let me get the score updated. Luckily, StreamYard keeps our banners with their scores. 84 for 2. We just saw Bravo take his second wicket. Ayers there, got himself 2 runs now, rotating the strike with a single. And I believe Jadeja's in there for his first over. There we go. And that is very slow, but it's not going to be a boundary. What's up, Jack?
We're back. We're back. Yes, I actually caught Gabe on the previous stream that ended, and he said, "Oops, my bad." So he acknowledged that error. All is well now. All is well. We're back on, everyone.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all good.
Oh, no. They're saying Gonski.
Oh, another wicket.
Did he catch that? Wow. That was a screamer right there. How did he get that? That had to be going close to his ankles. Satner's bowling right now. He's got the wicket. Jadeja bowled the over before that. Wow. Was that Jadeja with that catch? Nice reflexes
could
there.
This be a... Could this swing the momentum around?
No, there's no chance.
Well, you've got to hope.
There's no chance.
Got to be optimistic.
I would be... I mean, crazier things have happened. I'll give you that. I would be absolutely shocked. Now, the best chance that CSK has is what we've seen the last 2 overs. Just keep taking wickets. If you keep dropping those wickets, then it's going to be it's going to be tough to establish something. But all you need is what, 50 runs? Yeah. Less than 50 runs in 8+ overs. That could be interesting. Could you imagine that kind of collapse? Then Gabe would really, really be wrong.
I've seen worse things in cricket over the years. It is possible.
Yeah, I have too.
It's unpredictable, this game. But yeah, they need to keep taking wickets. That's the only way they're going to win this game. Simple as that.
What percentage would you give CSK winning this? Would you go above 10%? I wouldn't. I give them like a 7% chance.
Yeah. Less than 10. Less than 10%, I think.
Still somewhat possible, but not likely at all.
No. It only takes one good partnership, one good innings from someone to take the game away in 1 over or 2 overs. So what do they need? 44 or 49? Yeah. So they're doing it quite easy.
We have some good comments here. Gabe goes and CSK are back in the match. Do not underestimate the absence of Darth Mush.
The mush is real.
Anisha. What's cracking, my friend? So Billings is in there. He just came in after the last wicket. Shreyas Iyer, is anyone going to get that? Oh, nice. Who was that? Milne stopping that one? Very nice save. And yes, for those of you that were kicked out last time unceremoniously, our bad. But we're back now to finish this match. And first I thought, we're going to get out here a little early, but CSK's got some other plans. They want to delay the inevitable.
Yeah. Want to take it deep if they can. Deep as possible. That's usually the tactic here. In a T20 match. But as we said before, you've got to take wickets. And Jadeja back on. He's the skipper. What can he do? Spin some magic here.
Are you surprised to see Billings in there before Andre Russell? Could this be a small sign that Andre Russell is still not 100% fit and they want to give him as much rest as possible?
Could be a number of factors. Depends on the situation of the match at the moment.
Yeah, they could be
probably thinking if we lose a few wickets, we need Russell towards the end to be that specialist batsman. So other factors in there as well. So it could be that he's not 100% fit. They don't want to risk it, or they just want to give Billings a go and see what he can do in this situation or that position that he's batting in. Just give him a go in the first game, see what he can do. So a number of factors.
Jadeja bowling again. Fantastic catch earlier on. Andre's there for the death. Not really a problem. Can Mr. Not Out, talking about Shreyas Iyer, finish with ease here? He should be able to, right? This would be a great way to start his captaincy for KKR.
Yes, careful. Yes, it would.
What do you think of Sam Billings? He's a Brit, so I know there's probably no Brits that you love, but you are a fan of cricket. So what's your cricket mind say about Sam Billings?
He's I don't know how to describe him. He's a reliable player. He can get the job done for the team. He's a team man from what I see. Team man, does everything for the team when he's playing for England or playing for his franchise or county in England. Seems like a team man. He's got some skills. He's got talent. Probably hasn't been given enough opportunities over the years for England and various competitions. I think he's just a reliable player and he can get the job done. He's a power hitter as well, so he can hit those big sixes as well. That's what I think of him as a player.
I think that's great analysis there. I think that's a good point, that he's reliable. He can get the job done. Probably not the first or second or third guy you're going to expect to get that job done for you, but definitely can. I saw early on, speaking about British players that we don't see in the IPL too much, Sam Willie. I'm not even sure that's how you say it, Willie or Wiley. I think it's Willie. He was raking in whatever international series I was watching, match after match. And I'm like, man, this guy can really, really score. But I don't see him get too many chances, BBL or IPL. Is he a guy who's just at times goes off? Or is he a guy that doesn't get enough opportunities outside the international limited over format team?
I think you're talking about David Willey.
What did I say?
You said Sam Willie. It's David Willey.
Oh, did I? David Willey.
Yeah, that's all right. We get all confused with the names at times. Probably because he's playing for England and their one-day side is stacked. Let's be honest about that. It is very hard to get in there. He didn't play the 2019 World Cup because England had many options and he didn't get an opportunity there. He's he has patches of good form and then he goes down a bit and then bowls well and then doesn't bowl well. I think it's just probably that mixed in with a lack of opportunity and probably teams probably don't pick him to be that first choice in their team. They'd rather leave him to be the second or third choice. But some players are like that. They either have a long run or a short run and teams just pick them or they don't. That's just how it goes in cricket, really.
And I'm telling you, when I first saw him, this guy is crushing it. This guy's a star. This guy's amazing. And then I just don't see him in other places too often. So it must have been just the timing of when we watched him.
Yeah.
So Satner's about to finish his last over. He's getting up 30-plus runs, which is a little bit much for 29 runs, excuse me. He's sitting on 30 runs for this low-scoring affair. Now he's getting up 30 runs. Shreyas Iyer and Sam Billings, they're taking their time right now, but they seem to be getting more and more comfortable. So if CSK is going to make a move, it's got to be right now.
Yeah.
As if it's that easy to do.
Yeah, it's easier said than done, but they just sort of need to crack the game open here if they can, get a couple of wickets or something. I think Jadeja has gone upstairs to review this LBW, I think. Yep, he's gone upstairs to review it. Might as well.
That first sight, it looked like it went off the bat, but it didn't go very far. So it could make sense if it went off his leg. Yeah, he seems very confident about this one. His first review as a captain in the IPL, at least.
Oh, okay. I think that's got a bit of bat, bit of glove there. Looks like that from the front on spin vision there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an interesting review right there. It's a pretty easy stay with your original decision.
Yeah, pretty much.
Absolutely, Manav. Waste of time. So the very first review as captain did not go too well. Can't blame that one on Gabe. Darn it.
I think it was just a review and hope. That's why. We just might as well review it. We've got 2 left. We might as well just burn them one up. See if we get lucky.
VS is saying just to break the flow too.
Yes. Yep, that often teams would do that just to break the momentum up, get the batsmen out of their bubble, but I don't think it will bother these two that much. They're just trying to get in. They've got plenty of time. 6 overs left. It's time for a timeout. Signaled by the umpire.
This is going to bring up a question right here.
Yeah.
To be honest, because I was not brought up in cricket, I understand fair play. I understand spirit of the game. I get that. I'm not saying it's a bad or it's a dumb thing.
Yeah.
I'm not for cheating. I'm not for any of that kind of stuff. But I do feel like at times, with at least people that comment in our videos about spirit of the game, I feel like it goes too far, in my opinion. Like everything, well, that's not the spirit of the game. That's not the way it should be played. And under that vein, if you're doing a review just to break the flow of the game, wouldn't that be against the spirit of the game as well? Wouldn't that be a little unsportsmanlike as well? Because you're trying, for example, there's a movie. I don't think you watch a lot of movies. Maybe you do. There's a movie called King Richard about Venus and Serena Williams when they were kids and their dad.
Yeah.
You heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Without spoiling too much, near the end of the movie, Venus is playing one of her first international matches against, I think, ranked number 1. And she's dominating. I don't know the historical context of this, but in the movie, she's dominating really, really well. She's about to win it. And then her opponent decides to call for a bathroom break. I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But she's in there for like 15 minutes. And the assumption is that she did that just to get Venus out of her game. And then when she comes back, again, I don't want to spoil anything. It doesn't go too well for Venus. For me, I feel like that's messed up. Okay, that's going a little too far. So first of all, what are your thoughts about if it was a review to break up the flow? What are your thoughts about that being spirit of the game? And how do you feel about sometimes people taking spirit of the game too far?
Okay, so the first point you said there about, excuse me, trying to break it up, the flow of it. It's a tactic now in the game, and the DRS is a part of cricket now, so you can review decisions. So I don't think it's against the spirit of the game. It's just a tactic that teams use these days.
So how is that not against the spirit of the game, But when the wicketkeepers hold on to the ball, hoping that the batsman's going to lift their foot up a little bit after they did their follow through, how is that so obviously against the spirit of the game? If it's within the rules of the game.
Well, with that, because I know you reacted to that video with wicketkeepers recently, and I watched that. It was a pretty good collection of clips. Because the ball is still in play. Okay, so this is the dead ball law. So when the ball comes into play, so when the bowler runs up to bowl the ball is alive. So the ball is in play from the moment it leaves his hand to when it sets into the wicketkeeper's gloves or to the boundary rope, goes for 4 or 6, or a fielder catches it or there's a wicket, the ball's dead. So if you think that you can still take a wicket and have an opportunity to take a wicket, then the ball's still alive. But if there's no chance of getting anything from that play, like getting a wicket or run out or something like that, then the ball's dead. If that makes sense, that's how it works.
But it's still technically a live ball if the wicketkeeper just catches it and the guy is moving away
because
from the
he's
crease.
Performing a stumping.
Right.
Because a stumping is where a batsman goes out of his crease and he's not attempting to run. That's called a stumping.
Wait for them to lift up that foot a little bit while they're still technically their follow through. It's still a live ball. We got a lot of comments saying, "Oh, that's messed up." I don't agree with that at all. That's where I'm saying it's in the confines, like man-catting. It's in the confines, and maybe it's just personal preference for some people. I don't know, right? But if it's because the umpire can simply say, "No, nice try, get out of here with that nonsense. That's not going to fly." But if they say, "Yeah, that's a wicket, you got him," then why is that when it's like kind of that gray area? Why is that so no, not very good? But calling for the review that's just smart cricket. You see what I'm saying? Like it's kind of that gray area.
Yeah, I can understand that.
It's hard to see how you tell the difference.
Yeah, it is. Many things. Yeah, at times we can blow it out of proportion. At times, like as you said, with magcatting, and the laws have been changed to include that under run out now, and it was a legitimate dismissal. Many people don't remember that. It was under unfair play, which is law 41, and now it's moved under run out now. So that will clarify a few things, but you always get the debate. Oh, it's against the spirit of the game. You shouldn't do that, whatever. People have their own views about it.
Right.
It's the way you interpret that. But is it a legitimate way of getting the batsman out? And what I will say with batsmen is just stay behind your crease. It will solve the problem. We will never have this argument. In an ideal world, we will never have this argument. But it's always going to come up when a bowler attempts to run it, like Ashwin in the past. He's a repeat offender, like in the IPL when he got Butler, mad-catted in that IPL season that year. I can't remember what the year was. But, you're always going to have that debate. In terms of reviews, look, as I said, it's just a part of the game. It's just the norm. Gabe says unfair play rule, law 41. It is. There's actually a law for that, unfair play. It was under that previously. Now it's changed to run out when the laws come into effect on October the 1st, when they change the laws. Because they do that every few years, the MCC, they update the code and that as well. So it's all complicated stuff. I know it's going over your head at the moment, Nick. It's like
no. I'm following the match, but I'm listening to what you're saying. And I've heard a lot about the rule changes with the man-catting and how they're calling it. So I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I think Gabe said slow overs, I should say, meaning slow over rates. I think you mean there, Gabe. Also tactics. Yes, but that has to come under time wasting as well.
Yeah.
Which umpires should crack down on, actually, but they don't. In terms of
time we've heard it. What was it? Was it England and Australia, or was it in a recent series? They got docked pay for slow over rates, and they lost
England did in the Ashes.
In the Ashes they got docked some points.
It was the first test of the Gabba, I think.
So I mean that again, and if that's a rule, right, and the umpires put a stop to it, I have no problem. But this is my whole point. We'll get back to the match. The match is still going on. They're in the death right now. KKR is 105 for 3. They're chasing slowly, and there's a big. Oh, he stopped the boundary. Nice save right there. They got a few runs, but that's a huge save right there. He's got Billings and Shreyas Iyer on strike. I think that was Milne again with the big save. He's doing his best impression of Faf right there, patrolling the boundary there. And yeah, he saved that clearly. Very, very nice and cleanly. My issue is this. And this is where it depends on what team you're rooting for or you're a fan of. Because if my team goes out on something that's kind of cheap, that's still in the rules, but it's kind of cheap, and that's how we lose the match, I understand being pissed about that. But if you're on the other side, you're thinking, great strategy. You play within the laws. You got that win. You got what you had to do. There's a bounce right there for Billings. I just think that everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Absolutely. But when it comes to those like close gray areas, still within the confines of the rule, umpire's not going to get mad at you and you can get away with it, and it's not against the laws, then I think it's tough to pick and choose which ones you like and which ones you don't like. Again, personal opinion, I'm never going to convince anyone of their personal opinion. But that's just kind of my outlook on it. And it seems like with Spirit of the Game, there's a lot of gray area. And people kind of choose which rules they like, which laws they like, which ones they don't. But if the umpires say it's okay, and I'm a coach, and my players aren't trying to do everything they can within the laws to win the game, then I'm questioning their heart, and I'm questioning their skill and their determination to win, personally.
That's just I agree with that. It's just... it's different interpretation and also unwritten laws as well. Like if the ball hits the batsman, you don't run. That sort of issue as well. And then people get a bit upset about that when a batsman takes a run. So those unwritten laws as well can cause a bit of confusion as well. So cricket has a lot of unwritten laws, and we always have this debate until the end of time if it's in the spirit of the game or not. So it's always going to keep popping up. But it's a big issue. It's a big topic that gets talked about every time in cricket.
No, I appreciate your viewpoints on that, and very level-headed, unbiased viewpoints.
Very nice. Well, it's very important because you have to play cricket in the right spirit, and that's be respectful to your opponents in victory or defeat, be gracious, and respect your opponents. Like the recent series between Pakistan and Australia, that was played in good spirit. That's how cricket should be played. But from time to time we see that conflict, and sometimes players don't play within the spirit. So it's very important. It's an important thing that all players have to follow. And
absolutely. We got a super chat here from Karan. Thank you so much. You should check out Murali. I can never say his name right. Sorry. Murali was treated by the umpires when Ranatunga, the Sri Lankan captain, walked off the field. Guy had 800 wickets. That was nasty. Ooh, give me some context.
That was at the Adelaide Oval, one day against England. Yeah, I've seen that on YouTube actually. Because as you know with Murali, he had a very unique action, and he had a lot of problems with that, and he was called for no balls a lot. And it boiled over in that match. And the umpire said, I've called you for throwing at square leg. So he was bowling off spinners, and then he bowled leg spinners, and then the umpire still called him for throwing. So Rangatunga took him off, and then they said, we're just going to forfeit the game here because we don't want to put up with this anymore. But then they managed to come back on the field, and the manager said, we'll get back on the field and play the game. We'll sort this out afterwards. And the game resumed afterwards. So that's what he's referring to there with that situation all those years ago.
Ranatunga was upset with how Murali was being treated and how the umpires were. So he decided to walk off and almost force it. That's interesting.
Because he was called.
Oh, there's a big six.
Yeah, he was called years ago before that, and then he was cleared by the ICC, and then they called him again after he was cleared by the ICC with the testing and all that stuff. It just got, he was a young bowler still, Murali. He was, if you're reported for a suspect bowling action in cricket as a bowler, that's your career. So for him, it was like, I'm still young. When he was called like in the early 90s, he was still a young bowler. In that Boxing Day test in Melbourne, he was called by the umpire for throwing. And I think Tony Gregg at the time said, his career's going down the drain. So it was quite a big deal at the time. No, it wasn't Han Solo. Han Solo, it wasn't Peter Parker. I think it was Ross Emerson who called him for no balls in that game at Adelaide.
Peter Parker, man.
Ross Emerson, yeah, not Peter Parker. He didn't officiate those games from early in there.
There is a fan for KKR. She is losing her mind right now. I love her passion, her enthusiasm. She is like, she's going nuts right now. I have seen the thumbnail. I didn't realize it was that video by Cricket Ross. So maybe we'll have to check that out. That's definitely an interesting thing. Who ended up winning that match? Do you remember?
Oh, I can't remember. I should know.
Put you on the spot. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Maybe people in the chat might help us. I think it was.
They will for sure.
I think it was either England or Sri Lanka. Yeah, I can't remember. So people in the chat, help us there. Who won that match? The one day in Adelaide between England and Sri Lanka. I have a feeling it was England, I think, that won that match. It was a tri-series with Australia at that time in the 90s. When we had tri-series, they're a bit of a rarity these days.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that before. That's cool. Thanks for the super chat, though, Karan. Brought up a good point there.
The tri-series, Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a rarity now. Oh, yeah, you used to have them like...
So that's three teams that are going to take turns playing each other?
Yeah. So you have like... here in Australia, we used to have tri-series between three countries. And you would play a certain amount of games, and then you would play 2 finals or 3 finals. But teams and countries don't do that anymore because it takes up time, and it's a thing of the past now. Which is sad because I used to like.
Would it be like a mini tournament type situation?
Yeah, sort of like a mini tournament,
like an exhibition tournament.
Yeah, sort of.
I can imagine that before, and I mean they had the World Cup back then, so I guess I can't say that. But now you have a World Cup for every format, right? Back then you just had the World Cup, so maybe it was just a way to, and this is going to sound bad, but sell tickets, get excitement for the game. Let these superstars play each other in one area. The fans in Adelaide, they can see 3 top class teams.
Oh yeah, it will be like spread out at like different venues across Australia, like when it used to happen in the day. Like Melbourne, Adelaide, Sydney, Perth, Brisbane, even Hobart. Yeah. It's sad that it's no longer happening these days in cricket. It's sad.
I think it would just be impossible with all the T20 domestic leagues going on.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you have guys or girls that are not traditional test players, or vice versa, are traditionally test and not T20 players, you can do a tri-series that way with, I guess, what you would call like an A squad or something.
Oh yeah,
Gabe wants to. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right, Nick.
Okay. No, go ahead.
You go first. I'll go after you.
Gabe wants to know why Narayan's action is illegal. I mean, not his current one, but he's been called for illegal action.
Yeah, he has problems with his arm. That's the reason, because it looks a bit. Bravo's got another wicket there. Billings is gone for 25. Good catch there by the fielder in the outfield.
Everyone is ahead of me. I hate you all. Now I see it. Yeah. He was placed perfectly. Yeah. Bravo! I did not take him on my squad. Gosh.
Why is his action illegal? It's because of his arm. It's problems with his arm because there's a certain amount of degrees of flex for a bowler. You can't bend it more than 15 degrees or something like that. That was the problem that he had, and most bowlers, when they get called, that's the problem they have because they bend their arm too much. You've got to keep a straight arm when you're bowling in cricket. You can't have it bent. But when you think about it, you bend your arm already when you're in the load up, and then it fully extends out when you bowl. So it's something that the ICC may need to have a look at. But yeah, it's mainly because of his arm, basically, because he bent it too far. It reached a certain amount of degrees of flex, what the ICC have in their regulations and that. So that's why he's been reported several times, and he has to remodel his action because of that. Which is, he's taken it on the chin. It's pretty hard to come back from that. Most bowlers don't recover personally when they get called, but he has. He's kept coming back, and credit to him. It's good to see him still playing. Because he's got some skills and talent.
Narayan's action's only illegal when he takes 3 wickets.
Yeah.
They're saying Bravo now equals Malinga for the most wickets taken in the IPL. That's impressive.
He would, yeah.
I mean, I think Malinga did it in fewer matches. He was one of a kind, and Gabe and I, we missed him. We missed him by 1 season. Our first season watching was the first season he didn't play. He was supposed to play. He was injured, and then he just announced his retirement. But yeah, he was amazing. Yeah, so Billings is out. So they have a 1% chance, in my opinion. A little ray of hope. No, not 1%. 8 runs on 14. I've seen worse than that. So I'll give him a 21% chance at this point. Sheldon Jackson's in there. No Andre Russell. Whatever.
Yeah, it's
I'm telling you.
13 now.
You don't bring Andre Russell in. It's in the death. You want to close this out. You don't want to mess around. I think they're trying to rest him. I really do. Long season ahead.
Well, it is. It's like 70 games. I had to look at it the other day, and I was like,
in like what, 30 days or some nonsense.
Just I can understand why they wanted to bring 2 new teams in. I understand that, but
yeah,
to me, it's just nothing against the IPL. I think the IPL is great for cricket, but it can get a bit tedious if that's the word to just.
It's a lot in a little amount of time. It's not 30 days. It is. Let me get. The final is scheduled, the final match, the 70th match is scheduled for May 22nd. So it's less than 2 months, or about 2 months for the whole season. But yeah, 70 matches.
Yeah, you're asking a lot from the players. It'll be interesting to see how they go about rotating their players this season, all the teams, because not everyone's going to play every game, given how the schedule is now. So be interesting to see how they go about that. But it's definitely something different for this year's edition, that's for sure. Having 2 new teams should be interesting.
A lot of double headers. I don't understand. I mean, I understand this comment. I don't understand why this comment's here. I mean, no offense. Umpire wears the white clothes in test, gives out the pointing finger towards the sky because he's pledging that, in his view, batsman is out. I am not disagree with that. I'm not sure what I said to maybe not understand that. That's a basic thing in cricket. So appreciate the comment. Not sure what it's in reference to. Yeah, 70 matches are too much.
That's sort of the same thing in the Big Bash. Like people
Nice
are complaining about the Big Bash being too long.
Oh, he might be injured, or just shake it up a little bit. I'm not sure who that is. I'm not sure if that's Uthapa. I don't like just to assume what I don't know. But oh man, it's amazing that he was able to stop that. That was not the most athletic dive. That's kind of a dive I would give out there. But he was still able to stop that ball. That's Rayudu. Able to stop that ball with his knee, even though he didn't fall the way he wanted to. Got really lucky there. And he's already taken out injured. Big divot in the grass. Ooh, Gabe. Gabe's going to be fuming. Wow. Thanks, guys. Rayudu. 3 runs on 10 balls needed. Shreyas, sorry, can you give me a 6, please, for some more points in my fantasy? Jack, feel free to join our fantasy league. It's on our community page.
I'm never good at fantasy, Nick. I'm never good at fantasy. I've tried fantasy in the past, and I'm terrible.
Listen, I play fantasy in different sports all the time, and he ends it on the boundary. Match is over. KKR wins. CSK is done and dusted. And according to Gabe, they're out of the playoffs. But with fantasy, Jack, you could know nothing and still have a chance of winning, honestly. You should try it out just for fun. Costs no money. It's just for fun. We have the link on our community page. For anyone else that wants to join too, you did not know about it, we have plenty of spots open. Go ahead and join and see if you can beat me, which you probably can, and see if you can beat Gabe. He's usually a little better at fantasy than I am, even though I did beat him last year, so take that. All right. Well, Serious Liar finishes it off. His maiden debut, his maiden captaincy with KKR, not his first time with the captain, but with KKR, gets the W, beats CSK. I feel like CSK is they're gonna, circle the wagons. They're gonna figure things out. They're still gonna be a team to be reckoned with, and so this is gonna be a big win for KKR. Get a little revenge from that finals match. Kubar's number 4 in our fantasy league. Congratulations, Jack. I appreciate your time so much. I got a movie to go to in just a little bit, so I'm gonna sign off. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you helping us out. And I appreciate, once Gabe have to leave, you sticking around.
No worries. It's now 4:00 here in Australia. So I'll be off to bed, and I'll be feeling quite tired in the morning.
So, yes, you will.
It was a pleasure, Nick. Anytime. I'll be happy to jump on and talk cricket, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's been great interacting with everyone in the chat. So thanks, everyone, for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to Cricket for Americans. And if you haven't done so yet, check the podcast out, Dibbly Dobbly Podcast on YouTube. Check out my chat with Mary Walden, Ireland international women's cricketer. I spoke to her. So check that video out, because it was a great interview that I had with Mary, and I learned so much about the women's game by talking to her.
Yes, and I totally forgot. I forgot to plug and promote your channel. The Dibbly Dobbly Podcast is Jack's channel. He has his graphics man that helps him out, but he puts together some great videos, some great conversations, some great graphics as well. And he has conversations with different cricketers. He has conversations about hot topics that's going on. He has conversations not just about Australia cricket, but that is what he is. That's where he's from. That's what he roots for. I know I can't say root in Australia. It means something different, but we say that in America. It means
yes.
That you follow. I've been told that many times. It's hard to break that habit. But check out his channel. We're trying to get him to his 4 tons now. That's the next goal. And go and check that out. And if you like it, go ahead and like and subscribe. But for us today, thank you so much for joining us. First match of the IPL is in the books. We'll be back for another Saturday stream next week. Gabe might be on tomorrow, so you might be lucky. Who knows? But with all that being said, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.
See you, everyone.